What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Riku Keyblade Master / Angel of Dawn. Now, I know it's been a long time since I done this, but back when I came up for world ideas for Kingdom Hearts 3, this was kind of before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. When I told you guys I was rewatching Goof Troop, honestly, the issue with it made me think of a world idea for Spooner Ville. Now, this might be a bit too on the nose, but this could be one of those worlds like that could fall into the category of, kind of giving us a break from the main plot, or these guys could play into the main plot just fine. It's not like we haven't encountered other versions of the original cast that we all know and love before. Although I will admit, it would be really crazy interacting with like two Goofies on the same screen. It would be kind of crazy. But it's not like it hasn't been done before. I'm looking at you, Three Musketeers. Yeah. But two Goofies sharing the same, space, though, that would be kind of pushing the steps a little bit. Like, interacting face to face. That'd be pushing it a little bit, but it would be kind of unique to see how that would play out. I mean, one of them tripping on roller skates right in front of the other one who's supposedly really smart. I mean, come on. I'm not saying that the Goofy that's in the KH universe is more like a sophisticated type, but like the fact that Goofy can be a bit, this Goofy catches on quicker than the one in Goof Troop does. I mean, that doesn't go along for every single episode. As for a plot line to how it could, play out, I don't really think that. See, I reviewed the Goofy movie again too, and I don't recall there being an actual like enemy, but I can see where the organization would just make one up or sort of like take control of, like, say, the principal of the high school. Or if they wanted to go with the Goof Troop version, the principal of the middle school, and, something happens and they all think Max and PJ did it, so Max and PJ gotta travel with you in a party and, go with you to clear their names, so to speak. But, I mean, I can see something like that kind of happening to where they play into the plot. I can see it. Where Goofy gets a call from essentially himself and says, something's going on. Something happened that everybody in Spooner Ville is blaming Max and PJ, even though they don't know what it is, even though Max and PJ really have no recollection of what happened, or like, a manipulative situation, sort of like how, I hate to bring up The Simpsons again, but sort of like that Simpsons episode where Krusty got framed, and we have to be the ones responsible for catching who really did it. In that case, it was Sideshow Bob that framed Krusty. But in this case, could be the Heartless and Unversed interfering with, like, say, the principal of their school, or, which, if they went with the show, the elementary school principal, if they wanted to manipulate her, it would be Mrs. Pennypacker, but, if they went with the movie, it would be, shoot. I don't remember the principal's name in, dang it, I'm drawing a blank. Hang on one second. Hey Google, in a Goofy movie, what was the principal's name of the high school?
Principal Mazur. On the website goof-troop.fandom.com, they say, Principal Mazur is the principal of Spoonerville's high school and the main antagonist in the 1995 film A Goofy Movie. Despite that his role is small, he is voiced by Wallace Shawn. People also ask me, why is Pauly Shore uncredited in A Goofy Movie? Want to hear the answer?
Yes, might as well.
When the team at Google finds out I'm being helpful, they're going to be so proud.
Anyway, Mr. Mazur could be manipulated by some form of, the Heartless, and, we could get a new version of a Heartless called a doppelganger, and it could mimic anyone at any time, anywhere. Like, for instance, even Pistol could end up being framed for something if they went with a scenario from Goof Troop. For those of you who don't remember, I covered Pistol a while back. But yeah, I don't really see a manipulation going on against Mrs. Pennypacker, since, there was one particular episode where she was very motherly towards Max, but I'm not saying that it's not off the table. But Principal Mazur, on the other hand, now, if there wasn't a good enough antagonist, even though they'd have a small role, of course, the series has been known to change up a bit of the movie plots, so he could have a bigger role in terms of, again, here we go with the whole doppelganger thing. They would have to identify, just like in the episode where, in Goof Troop, where, God, it was, the Franken Castle episode. It was insane. It was crazy because, even though that was a quick identification, since the Kingdom Hearts series is known to draw out plot lines and drag it on. It could be a much longer identification process. I mean, heck, they went ahead and did all of the worlds in one go instead of taking the Kingdom Hearts 2 approach where you unlocked each visit. Which, honestly, I actually preferred that, except for, like I said, you guys know about how I felt about San Francisco and Frozen, for crying out loud. But anyway, as for stuff that can be fun to do in that world, you know, they can implement the skateboard mechanic again. And, of course, this would be completely optional. You can choose to challenge the 11 and a half, 12-year-old Max or the teenager Max. Same thing with PJ. You could choose to challenge, you know, those two as like a bit of a practice. Like, say you're bored and you're like, let's take a break from the plot for a minute and see if these guys want to skateboard. You know? But of course, they would have to implement skate courses, which I don't mind a few half pipes. Like, it'd be a little bit reminiscent of Rocket Power a little bit too. Even though Rocket Power technically was a Nickelodeon property, but you get the point. It's skateboarding is skateboarding. They could even implement, you know, instead of doing the skateboard, they could even have Sora, Donald, and Goofy have their own pairs of rollerblades, for crying out loud. I mean, the sky is the limit here. I just went insane because I just was thinking about this idea for quite a while. And I was gonna talk about it on my other channel, but I was like, maybe I better work this over a little bit, maybe save it. And I figured now would be a good time since I'm re-marathoning this show. I just, wanted to kind of figure out a way to get this out there and see how everything could go. And the Keyblade's name, I know it's a bit unoriginal, but like it could be called Half Pipe, and it could have a skateboard keychain or a ramp keychain. It would be kind of unique to see what it would look like, what a Keyblade would look like shaped like a skateboard ramp, but at the same time, I don't know. I mean, we've had some oddly shaped Keyblades before, but I don't know how that one would honestly work. I think, like, I mean, this is your guys' opinion, but I think when they did the Circle of Life Keyblade, that had to be that between that and the Monochrome of Dreams, and the Honey Pot Keyblade. Those were some very basic exotic designs. I use the word exotic because, like, I really don't know how it would be. Like, it's out there. It's out of the box, alright? Fitting to the world, but kind of out of the box. Which really, in terms of Winnie the Pooh, though, Tom Kenny did a great job playing Rabbit. Even though Tom Kenny wasn't Rabbit's original voice actor, I'm open. I'm open-minded when it comes to voice acting, but there are certain voices I would prefer over the other ones. But yeah, I don't know if what's his name would come back for voicing Miser if that was the case, if they went with that, or if somebody else in general would voice Miser, to be honest with you. I don't even, not sure if the guy who voiced Principal Miser is even still alive, but I'll find out. Hopefully it's like pulling teeth with my assistant, for crying out loud. But anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to get this idea out there. I'm sorry if this sounds a little jumpy. It was a work in progress idea that I've had planned for like 2.5 years. Somewhere around that line. And it didn't reoccur to me until I completely forgot about it until I restarted the marathon. But I just figured, let's get our gears turning a little bit. Let's have a little bit of fun with this one. Until next time, I've been Riku Keyblade Master / Angel of Dawn. Comment, rate, subscribe to become a Keyblade wielder, and stay awesome as usual. Peace, and I love you all.